We're back today, and of course it's pre-season. The transfer window is in the full swing of things, and today I'm going to be bringing you a very important video regarding a confirmed signing at Wrexham and a possible record-breaking signing at the club in the next couple of weeks. And of course we're going to be talking about the latest departure at the club. There's a lot of news to be talking about. We're so close to jetting off to Australia for our pre-season tour, so I think we could be seeing one or two new faces join the squad before we do obviously fly out to Australia in the next coming days. So there's a lot to talk about in today's video. Before we get into it, if you'd like to see more Wrexham content, of course I say it every video, feel free to subscribe. It's free to do so. We're on the road to 28,000 subscribers. If you could drop a like as well, it would help the video with the algorithm, so if you could do that, that'd be massively appreciated. And without further ado, let's get talking transfer news. So as I'm sure you're all aware by now, Wales goalkeeper Danny Ward has returned to Wrexham. After first putting on a Wrexham shirt in 2010, he has come back to North Wales to sign a new 2-year deal until the summer of 2027. Now, I did a video, of course, when he first signed, talking about the reaction that could happen for some Wrexham fans. Of course, it was a mixed opinions, and I think there was mixed opinions when he was announced by not only Wrexham fans, but fans of other clubs looking from the outside. Danny Ward is a current Welsh international. I'm sure a lot of Wales fans were hoping that he would go somewhere and get regular game time ahead of next year's World Cup if Wales do qualify. But a lot of those are looking at this thinking Danny Ward is coming into Wrexham and he's not going to get in ahead of Arthur Okonkwo, and I think it is going to be an interesting situation to see what does happen there. If Danny Ward at some point in the season could really push on and possibly knock Arthur Okonkwo out of the Wrexham starting 11, so we'll have to see on that front. But in terms of the reaction he's got from the Wrexham fans, it's great to see. It is really good to see, and they're all getting behind him. There's one or two fans from other clubs saying, you know, good luck with him because he's the worst goalkeeper they've had, but all the Wrexham fans, we know he came through the academy. We like to see a homegrown player return to the club, especially after they've had such a successful career for club and country. So I think the majority were always going to be behind the signing of Danny Ward, and it's great to see because I'm sure that can only do his confidence the world of good. Like Parky said, bringing a player of Danny Ward's experience into not only the goalkeeping department but the whole squad of Wrexham is going to be a positive. But, you know, touching on the goalkeepers as well, we've got Callum Burton, who, yes, he's late 20s. We've got Arthur Okonkwo, who's early 20s. Danny Ward has got so much experience that he can bring to those two goalkeepers and possibly the other goalkeeper that is going to come in, which is likely to be a youth goalkeeper. So that's going to be a bonus in itself, and the rest of the squad is going to have a massive impact on that. You know, playing in the likes of the European Championships in 2016, in 2021, he's played in the World Cup in Qatar, he's made multiple Premier League appearances across his career, he's been in some really high stake games, so he's going to know what it takes to be involved in these games and to pass that on to a Wrexham squad which definitely has its mixture of older players and younger players, and especially for Okonkwo, who of course has never really played in the Championship before. I don't think he has made a Championship appearance ever. It's going to be massive for him going into this season. Like I said, for the whole squad of Wrexham, being a newly promoted side from League One to the Championship, adding a player of his calibre and his experience is going to be valuable across the board. Another really important thing to note is it is likely that Arthur Okonkwo will go out to AFCON from late December to mid-January because he might be representing Nigeria, and that there's a very high chance now Wrexham are in the Championship. So Okonkwo will likely miss 6 league games of the season next year in the Championship, plus the one we'll play in the FA Cup third round. So having a goalkeeper like Danny Ward, who is going to be pushing him already, you know, before he goes out to AFCON, if that's going to happen, you know, having pushing him and then having him ready to come into that team, because over that Christmas period we have got some very big games, and in early January we've got some massive games, so he needs to be ready to fill in Arthur Okonkwo's boots, who I think no doubtedly will have a really good start to the season. So it's important that he is game ready and match fit going into that. So some massive news now coming out from Wrexham. I'm going to start off by saying we heard the other day Phil Parkinson confirmed in an interview with an Australian outlet that he spoke to OBrien about a top target which he's hoping to get into the building in the next couple of weeks. They've been in contact with the player OBrien over the move and have explained the backstory about Wrexham and why they want him at the club. And strong reports are now coming out saying that player is Nottingham Forest midfielder Lewis O'Brien, who I have talked about on the channel previously, and it looks now, with some other news coming out last night, that Wrexham could be in pole position to absolutely smash our transfer record fee to go out and sign the playmaker midfielder. So like I said, O'Brien is a player that I've talked about previously on the channel. We've been linked with him across the whole of the summer, so there obviously is that truth there, and Wrexham are reportedly planning a £5 million bid for the Nottingham Forest midfielder, who has played for the likes of Swansea City, Middlesbrough in England. We've seen him go out to USA, which we'll talk about in just a minute now. And with some big news that we're going to be talking on regarding Hull City, who were reportedly front-runners to sign him ahead of Wrexham. It looks now Wrexham could be in pole position, because we've seen last night Hull City have been placed under a transfer embargo until 2027, meaning they can't pay a fee for a player for the next 3 transfer windows. So it looks all but likely now that Wrexham, of course, are going to get their man. Parky's going to get their man that he wants, that he's been looking for all summer, that he feels can take the team from here to here with the step up from League One to the Championship. And with that big news coming out last night, I can see Lewis O'Brien being in a Wrexham shirt, hopefully before we go out to Australia for our pre-season tour. Now, a bit about O'Brien, I've talked about him previously. Like I've said, he's had 4 loan spells in the past 2 seasons, which is pretty unheard of for a player, especially the fact that 2 of those loan spells were in the States for DC United and LAFC. And like I've just said, he's played for Middlesbrough in the Championship under a good team there, and of course last season for Swansea City, where he spent the second half of the season and was a real fan's favourite in that team. And across the board in his 2 Championship loan spells, O'Brien has made 41 appearances across the way. And in terms of improving our creativity going forward, that box-to-box midfielder, he can break up the play, but also he's got a really good attacking threat going forward. I think he could be a really good fit for our system, and it's likely that he would come into the team and be that centre attacking midfielder, probably play the role that Elliot Lee has done in previous years, where he's got that free roam in that attacking third, where he doesn't have that set central position like most centre attacking midfielders do. I think Parky wants to get the best out of him in terms of creativity, so that free roam is definitely going to obviously get the most out of him in terms of his creativity, his passing attributes, his just that threading that final ball through to the final third for the strikers, just creating that opening, which we've seen him do so many times across his loan spells at the 4 clubs he's been at. And he might not have got all the goals and assists in the world to his name over the past few seasons, but going forward, the quality you'll see from Lewis O'Brien in this Wrexham team compared to what we've had previously, I think is going to be a massive step up. And could that possibly mean as well, if Wrexham have tabled that £5 million bid to beat Hull City, and if there's no other competitors for Lewis O'Brien, could that price possibly be lowered a bit? Now, that's a question you've got to ask. Could Wrexham probably, try and be cheeky and get him for £3.5–4 million, because there is a very good player there. He's destined now to get that permanent move to crack on. And if Phil Parkinson sees a lot in Lewis O'Brien and has seen a lot to make him put a £5 million bid in for him, I think there must be a good player in him. And I think as well, with Parky drafting in Ryan to phone up Lewis O'Brien, I think there's definitely a good chance that there might have been other clubs looking at him, contradicting the point I've just made about lowering the price. But could Wrexham now be front runners to go and get Lewis O'Brien? It's definitely a question you've got to ask. Last season you're looking at him 16 games in a Swansea shirt, really had a good impact on the team. And if we do see him go to another Championship club that isn't Wrexham, then I'm sure he's going to hit the ground running and be a key player for them. Because I saw a lot of Nottingham Forest fans say on Twitter that he is easily a Championship player, but when it comes to the Premier League, he's not quite ready yet, because he hasn't played all that many games in the Championship to sort of solidify himself as that centre attacking midfielder in a Premier League side. So with that experience across the 2, 3, 4 seasons that he might get at Wrexham, I think we could be getting a really good midfielder here. Names like Bobby Clark from Liverpool, Owen Beck from Liverpool have also been thrown into the mix, so it might not even be Lewis O'Brien, this player, but all the reports and all the rumours are sort of pointing towards him. So we'll have to wait and see if it is a Bobby Clark, if it's an Owen Beck. Even if it's Lewis O'Brien, all these players we've been rumoured with would have a massive impact on this starting 11 in Wrexham. And to think that they'd be possibly dropping down to a newly promoted League One side to the Championship, it would be a massive coup. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you be happy with Lewis O'Brien coming in? In my opinion, like I said, he's going to be that creative attacking threat for us, which I think we definitely needed going into this season, because we only really have Elliot Lee who can play that role. So bringing that player in, he's got 44 Championship appearances to his name, so I can only see this as a win-win situation. He's still relatively young, he's had a good spell at Huddersfield Town, so yeah, I would really love it if we could smash our transfer record fee on a player like Lewis O'Brien. And finishing off the video now with a departure. Now, after 2 years at the club, Irish goalkeeper Luke McNicholas has departed to National League side Forest Green Rovers on an undisclosed fee. Now, I'm sure it won't affect a lot of Wrexham fans watching this, because we only saw McNicholas play 3 times in a Wrexham shirt, all coming in the EFL trophy, and I don't think I saw him play live in a Wrexham shirt, so I can't really have my say on him. I watched him on telly, I think, for the EFL trophy. He looked comfortable, but I think the sudden rise up the leagues for us, from League 2 to League 1 to the Championship, didn't help his chances of playing regularly, and probably would have improved as a goalkeeper as we improved on the qualities we've gone up the leagues. But in terms of him, he's 25 years old. He needs to be going and playing elsewhere. He had a good loan spell at Rochdale in the National League, but got injured halfway through that. So I think going to a team like Forest Green in the National League, who are going to be fighting for that league title, he's more than ready for that move, and he probably would have been ready for a League 2 move. But it's definitely a good opportunity for him. He'll get obviously more regular game time. He wasn't going to play a role for Wrexham this season, especially in the Championship. He probably would have been, looking at it now, maybe our 4th, 5th choice goalkeeper. So we wish him all the best of luck in his move to Forest Green Rovers. I'm sure in the next couple of weeks we'll see 3 or 4 players also depart the club. So that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like I said, subscribe, do all that good stuff, because there's going to be a lot of transfer content coming your way over the next couple of weeks. It is going to be a very interesting time. I'm expecting 5, 6, 7 new faces through the door at Wrexham. So also as well, make sure to turn the notification bell on so you are notified every time a video does come out. And until then, take care guys, up the Championship Reds.